99X. We are the original 99X and mostly the original Morning X. I'm Barnes. Got Leslie Fram on the turntables. We got Crash Clark on the traffic. And Jimmy Barron's going to come in a couple of weeks. He pops in and out.
Love it. Guess what's back? Resurrection Sunday. This is really a lot of fun. Sunday afternoons and every other Sunday on the Double Deck at Mutation Brewing. That, of course, is in Sandy Springs, Roswell Road, just north of 285. The Steve Show will be there this Sunday, noon to 4, drink specials, and more. You can find out more at 99x.com or mutationbrew.com.
UGA is saying, and I'm wondering if this is true, that the accent, the Southern accent, is fading, especially in Georgia.
Really?
I don't know. Trying to think if I notice it more with older people, I think. I mean, none of us have an accent. None of us have a Georgia. Crash, you don't even. I mean, you're Florida, but you've been here a long time.
A lot of people say I sound like I'm from New York. I think the further out in the burbs you go, the accent is still alive and kicking.
Rural areas. And when I lived in New York, everybody thought I had a Southern accent.
Really?
Oh, yes. Immediately. So I think I still do, but I think a lot of it has to do with travel and stuff. But I don't know. People losing their accents. That's interesting.
When we were at the pool in Mexico, the Lazy River, Crash and I were talking to some people, and they were like, where are you from? And we said, guess. And we were...
what did they say?
What did they say for you? Were you in that conversation? I thought you were.
I'm not sure.
Maybe you weren't.
Been at the bar.
Crash was taking laps on the Lazy River by himself. I said to them, guess, and their first guess was somewhere on the eastern coast, southern eastern coast, which I thought was interesting because they didn't say Georgia. And I don't think I have an accent. Maybe some of the Texas in me comes out with y'all a little bit.
Certain phrases or words, absolutely.
Maybe certain phrases. But a lot of people think that Southerners are losing their accents. I've been seeing this story pop up more and more. Now, UGA did this whole story. Curious what you think. 470-741-4999. But a lot of the stuff in that study, they're saying the pronunciation of vowels has changed. And their example is prize is pronounced P-R-A-H-Z, prize by baby boomers, but prize by younger people. Prize. And they're saying also, to your point, Crash, the shift is noticeable in cities and suburbs, but it's happening across the state of Georgia. The change most pronounced among black Georgians in their 20s.
That's interesting, because I would think, like Leslie was saying, the rule, like if you go out towards Villa Rica or down towards Fairburn or Covington, that's where it would be more of a white, older demographic.
I think both of my kids were born and raised in Atlanta. Neither has an accent.
At all.
Zero.
Maybe it's more out in the country.
I mean, definitely a lot of that. Kids start to sound like their peers in school rather than their parents because they spend more time in school. But also think about social groups and some people shifting their speech away from a certain and trying hard not to sound a certain way. But then you have that influx of New York, Chicago, L.A.
You know, growing up, my parents were from Boston, so they had this like heavy New England accent. I was the only Southerner in the family, but I was around them all the time where they'd say "car" instead of "car."
Yeah, the Boston stuff I've never understood. Hey, Morning X, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Who is this?
This is Stacy.
Are the Georgians losing their Southern accents, do you think?
Yes, we are. I'm born and raised here, and I've worked hard to lessen mine.
Oh, you've tried. So you're one of the ones who are trying.
Yeah.
Why? Do you think it makes you sound a certain way?
Yeah, I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and when you have, all the rural stuff with Green Acres and Dukes of Hazzard, we didn't look like we were coming off that great. So I did. I worked to lessen it to sound a little more professional. I know it's not true, but that's, when I was a kid, that's what I thought.
What were some of the things you did to lessen your accent?
I read a lot, and I just surrounded myself with people who didn't have an accent. I mean, I work in healthcare, so I had a lot of different people to just kind of feed off of.
Interesting.
We're going to all start valley girling soon because so many LA people are moving here and buying houses. Yeah, I mean, mixing that with
Absolutely.
when you tell people you're from Atlanta,
And Georgia's full of transplants. Yeah, I do.
And when you
Yeah.
tell people you're from Atlanta, they look at you like, y'all are a bunch of rednecks.
Yeah, they say they're from Atlanta. Nobody says they're from Georgia. They're from Atlanta.
Oh, right, because they want to simplify it for the people.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah,
from the
they
story.
don't-
Stereotypes.
Thank
Think
you
about
very
it.
much.
I tell people I'm from
Thanks, guys.
Alabama, and the stereotypes are ridiculous. Thank you, Stacey.
Yeah, the Alabama stereotype's
Yeah,
way
it's-
worse than Georgia.
It is. It is.
Like when someone says they're from Alabama, I start hearing that ding 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 ding, like just like playing.
Deliverance.
Yeah, like playing in my head.
Morning X. Hi, who's this?
This is Randy.
Hey, Randy, we're talking about, do you think Georgians are losing their Southern accents?
Yes. Just from what I've seen around, talking to people who've grown up here like I have, and it just seems like it's not around as much as it used to be. My parents were born in the South, and they have somewhat of an accent. Not too extreme, but they do have some, and I don't really have an accent. Not very much. Every once in a while, maybe a little bit. And then my kids don't have any at all. And it seems like it's going away from what I can see.
It is strange because I don't know if it's is it a bad thing that, it seems like it's been gone for a few generations because like you pointed out, your kids and I said my kids don't have it at all. And you have some of the, whatever the ones, like water, is that a South Carolina thing or is that a Georgia thing? There are some words I hear and I still whip my head around like, huh?
The phrasing.
Right.
Water?
Even some of the sayings, but yeah, maybe from generation to generation, you're just around more people that don't have an accent.
Yeah. Thanks, Randy. Have a great day.
Hey, yeah, you too. Thank you.
Appreciate you listening to us. Have a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
It may not be such a bad thing if people perceive us as stupid because we talk a little different, like some of the people. But some people think
Stupid is as stupid does.
Some people think it's sweet though. They think it. Hey, Morning X. Good morning. Who is this?
Good morning. This is Charlie.
What's going on, Charlie? How are you?
Well, I'm fine so far.
Oh, yeah.
So
love it.
The Southerners are losing their accents, but not Charlie.
I think that's hogwash.
You don't.
Balderdash.
No, for real. Do you think is it going away? And why do you? I mean, are you just joking, or do you talk like that?
No, listen, I've lived all over, and I think that when you live in a metro area, that you do you have this influx of all these people coming in because everybody wants to live down here, and it dilutes our accent. But if you get 50 miles south of Atlanta, you're going to find people that talk like cornbread. I think that's how it's going to be. And it's who we are surrounded by. I remember when I moved to Dallas, and I said something tumped over, and everybody turned around and looked at me. I realized real quick, that might not be a real word, y'all.
But you do sound Southern. I mean, just your regular speaking, you sound pretty Southern. But those sayings, I say fixin' a lot, and people
Do you
will look
say
at me.
fixin' to go? Fixin'
I'm
to...
fixing to do this. I'm fixing, and that
Yeah.
comes from my dad, like from Texas, not from Georgia. But you hear people reckon. I never reckon. Do you reckon? Well, I reckon.
I still say y'all.
Y'all is another one.
I say y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all. I say that all the time.
I think there's some of those things that we just, if we get flustered, we probably say them a lot. But I do know when you travel, you try to hide it a little bit because people do think you just don't know what you're talking about.
Could you do me a quick favor? Could you just say surprise 3 times?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Thank you, Gomer.
Charlie, I have to say, especially in the South, bless your heart has a couple of different meanings. Do you get that a lot?
Yes, and we've ruined it because we've let those people up north know what we're really trying to say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gave him a hand, yeah.
And it's also ruined it that, bless your heart can be a genuine, I'm concerned about you. Or it could mean you've just let your alligator mouth overload your hummingbird butt.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm about to tell you something. So, and now they think that's what it means. They know that if you say bless your heart to somebody, they're like, uh-oh. But it's a catch-all phrase. We have a lot of, that's what I love about the South, is that we really have our own language.
Yeah, it's true. And Jeff Foxworthy did us no good by doing that whole "you might be a redneck." That whole
that was
thing,
right. Yeah,
that got attached to us, big time.
Yeah, and we're not all rednecks. We don't all spend the summer completely barefoot all the time.
True.
We're, you know,
Charlie breaking it down.
yeah, we don't eat dirt. Some of us went to school. Some of us, you know, some of us been up to New York City before once or twice. You know?
Hey, Charlie, you ever been outside the perimeter?
Yeah, well, yes.
I knew the answer.
I had to have a job, so I had to go up outside the perimeter to, you know, OTP and spend in traffic for an hour and 45 minutes.
Those are our people, though. We love them. But don't you remember when that was such a stigma? When you lived outside of 285, it was a huge stigma.
Oh yeah.
People that move here now, they don't get that reference at all.
Now everybody wants to be outside the perimeter. Everybody wants to get outside the city. Do people treat you differently because of your Southern accent?
Yes, and it is. It's interesting. I used to travel a lot for work, and most of the times I would get treated so well. And I would check into a hotel and people would come out because I had talked to them on the phone and they want to meet me. And that accent worked to my benefit everywhere except New York City.
Oh, yeah, they could care less.
They do not have time for it.
Yeah, I see that.
Well, Charlie, you take care.
Thank y'all. Have a good day.
Bless your heart.
Well, I got to be moving along. Bless your heart.
Tell your mama I said hello. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I got to get back to Traffic Barnes because it's backed up from hell to breakfast.
The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie.
How you doing?
99.
Michael Rosenbaum and his Smallville co-stars take you behind the scenes of one of the greatest shows of all time.
We're going to watch every episode.
Join us. It's Big Talk.
You remember when I had to shave my head?
Oh, I think I was angry with this one.
On Smallville.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
The scene you did, and this is the one that got me fired.
Okay.
What? Here we go.
I love the excursions with me and Welling.
It's everything that Superman stands for.
It's Talkville.
Talkville, we always talk about it. It's a great thing.
The Smallville Rewatch Podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.